Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM20 story, The Head Coach with me, Daniel. It's Season 5, Episode 2, and today we move into the season with Scunthorpe. We're settling down in League 1 in our first full season at the club, and things are looking pretty good early on in the season. And we've got two big games today at home to both Ipswich Town and Lincoln City as we try and continue to compete for the playoffs. Don't forget the board want us to finish in the top half this year. We've got a few injuries to contend with and international duty remarkably, but we're still hoping we'll be able to do that quite comfortably. And then we're hoping we can push on and try and challenge for the playoffs. Lincoln actually occupying the last place at the moment. But this early on in the season, it's pointless looking at the table. We have started well and we'll go and look at that in a moment. But we've also got a little bit of transfer news to catch up on as well. So let's go and see how the window ended. We had two more additions, one of which we were expecting. Luke Matheson, the man who in real life went for big money to Wolves at the weekend. He went for £1 million to the Premier League club. Here he came to us for about 120 grand. Compensation terms, that is. Probably fair to say he's not quite reached his potential in this one. 2.5-star ability, 4-star potential now. Still could get significantly better, of course. And there's no reason we can't turn him into a good championship player and maybe even take him up with us. He's capped at under 19 level for England, but he's gone a little bit downhill since then. And we'll be hoping we can get him back to his best and help him develop yet further in his career. He likes to get forward, so we will work on that later in the year. But I'm just trying to start with a solid defensive base first. So Luke Matheson's going to be a casualty of that for now. But later on in the year, I'm sure we can make it work. But a good big name signing for the window, and we've got one more coming in as well. Tom Bayliss on a free transfer. It was a bit of a surprise, this one. He's worth nearly £500,000. Probably slightly better than Teddy Bishop, who's our playmaker at the moment. 3-star ability, 4-star potential. Done alright in his first few games at the club. And you can see all around he's a pretty decent player. Just looks like a good solid all-rounder at this level. One of the higher paid players at the club. Our director of football's found some good deals again. And yet again he's left us with a really good squad. Only a slight weakness in the backup area on the wings. We've got lots of strikers and good youngsters that can cover there. And aside from that, we've got a really well-rounded squad. And we look forward to all of these lads doing well for us. The signing of Bayliss also meant one more player left the club as well. Alex Woodyard was sold very quickly by our director of football. 95,000 to Central Coast Mariners over in Australia at 30 years of age. He's had injury problems over the last year and a half since we've been here. And to be honest, that looks like a really good deal to me. So a decent player, but he is starting to decline physically. He's decent enough, but only would have been a backup here. And to get nearly 100 grand is fantastic. And it just balances out our squad yet further. Lowers the risk of unhappiness across the board. We've got the youngster Andy Cook who we can bring in as an emergency backup if we need him. So it's good to have a few extra bodies in the squad. And those 4 brilliant youngsters do that for us going forward. And there's no need for us to have experienced backups. But a really good squad we've got now. Still a little bit short of centre half when we've got an injury or one on international duty like Burgess today. But overall I'm really pleased with where we stand. And I'm hoping that completes a pretty solid if unspectacular window. So we'll go and have a quick look at the recent results and then get into our 2 games for today. But firstly, a massive thank you to everyone who continues to follow the series. I hope you're as impressed with the end to the transfer window as I am. I'm really pleased with what Alan Judge has done here, to be honest. If you are, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know what you think the results will be in the 2 games today. And let me know what you think of the signings of Bayliss and Matheson. I think Alan Judge has done more stellar work there. Finally, if you are new to the channel, please subscribe for daily FM20 content from both this story and our Dorking Wanderers One Club series. That one will be back tomorrow at 4:30, of course. Plenty of transfer news going on in both series at the moment. And with Dorking, we're coming towards the end of the season. We'll have another transfer special just around the corner. But let's go and get into the first of today's 2 games via the schedule to see how we've been getting on. You're with me, of course, for the first game against Forest Green. A little bit disappointing in the second half. But since then, a good draw away at Oxford. 0-0 and we look solid at the back. A 3-2 win, our first of the season at home to Southend. Coleclough winning it for us in the 90th minute. He got a first one with a penalty as well. And Lindsay scored in his second home game in a row. And then at home to Fylde in the Carabao Cup, the youngster Steve Chapman with a goal off the bench. He did really well in that one and got his first goal for the club, so I'm mightily impressed with him. Then 2-1 away at Portsmouth, we won. Ryan Longman starting his season with a brace there. And then a 1-1 draw away at Shrewsbury. And that was Jamie Lindsay this time as well. 3 goals for him already from central midfield. Looks like a proper good box-to-box midfielder. And he's chipped in with an assist as well. And even got a yellow card showing the dirty work at the other end. Then a 0-0 draw at home to Port Vale. Bit of a boring game if we're being honest. Another injury in attacking areas to Olamola. We've already got Coleclough out up there as well. And then a 2-0 defeat at home to Norwich in the Carabao Cup. Our reserve team did put up a decent decent fight. Adam Idar with a brace, he's a really good player. Just look at his attributes he's got there. How he's not playing for them regularly in a league, I don't know. They must have some really good strikers at the club because he is a fantastic pro and an Ireland international to go with it. Then into September, a 1-0 defeat at Exeter, our first and only league defeat of the season. A bit disappointing, but we were lacking players going forward. Again, both wingers missing out. Wilson was injured there too. And then a 3-2 win away at Tranmere in the Leasing.com trophy. A complete backup side, the likes of Chapman, Flanagan, Cook, all of the youngsters involved, Ben Steele off the bench as well. And Omatoyi, the lone striker, got his first 2 goals for the club, and Taylor Maloney his first from the holding role too. So plenty of good news going into this game, but let's go and face Ipswich and see how we get on. They're below us in the league and we are slight favourites going into this one. Ipswich not won a game in 5, but they have only managed 1 defeat. There are a lot of score draws so far in their season, and for us we won our most recent game after our poorest run of the year so far, though we are missing Burgess and Schoberg on international duty, and Olamola and Coldclough both injured in wide areas too. But we've still got a pretty decent 11 today, a few youngsters making their way onto the bench as a result, a little bit light up top, so the likes of Chapman and Flanagan make the bench, but both have shown they can score in competitions in the last year. And aside from that, we're almost at full strength, just centre half where Bordeaux's a bit weaker. So we've got Watson in goal as the sweeper keeper, Matheson and Brown the fullbacks, with Bordeaux joining McGahey in the centre. Just because Burgess is on international duty, there's not much we can do about that. Tom Neal in the anchorman role, Lindsay and Bayliss in the middle, Wilson back on the right wing after a couple of games out, and then Longman coming in off the left in this game, with Omatoyi up front fresh from his 2-goal display in the weekend. So alongside the youngsters, we've got a very experienced bench. Terrell Thomas obviously stepping up because Bordeaux's in the lineup. So let's get into the first of today's 2 games and hope we can get at least a point or maybe even 3. 4-2-3-1 for the away side. Tyrese John Jules on the left wing, we recognise that name. Vincent Young Bennett, they've got some really good players, so let's just hope we can get a result. Emma Hughes, I'm sure we had him in the head coach at some point last year. We'll just motivate the lads, see if we can get into it, and fingers crossed we can hold on for a good result first half. So a bit weirdly today, we're playing in our away kit, which is basically the same colour as Ipswich home kit, and they're playing in their away kit, which is basically the same colour as our home shirt, so I don't quite understand it. Flynn Dowles picks it up on the edge of the box. I'm surprised I missed him pre-match. Into the box, volley just wide. Flynn Downs had a loan spell at Luton early in his career, an important player for us for a little spell in League 2, a really good young player as well, doing well for Ipswich here, as he is in real life, but with half an hour gone it's still 0-0, it's been a pretty nothing game so far. We've not had many chances, so I'm going to go up to balance, just see if the lads can get a bit more of a foothold in the game, as it's not like us to have less possession than our opponents, but at half time it looks like it's going to be goalless. And it is just that, to be honest, not the best game of football. Ipswich have had far more shots, but not many that have been worthy of seeing highlights for, so I'm suggesting none of them are really clear-cut chances, and we'll get into the second half much the same. The balanced mentality's made no real difference, to be honest, though we have managed a shot to Ipswich's 3 in this half so far, and with the hour mark coming up it's still goalless. It's an Ipswich corner though with Bennett. He's been the danger man in the highlights we have seen. Webster with a free header at the back post, again poor marking from set pieces, but it's comfortably over and we still survive. This has been a really poor performance so far. We look like we're hanging on for dear life, and to be honest that's exactly the case here. A point would be a fantastic result at this point, to be honest, so let's go and have a look to see what subs we can make. Longman's had an awful game. Flanagan will come on for him. He's going to be a winger on attack. Omatoyi's had a poor game too, so we'll bring on Chapman for him, the youngster. Get some of those youngsters some first team football. Tyree Wilson's been the other poor player, but we've got no other attacking subs, so let's go and get back into it. We'll make the last one with 5 or 10 remaining. Right, 10 minutes to go. We've gone to a more positive mentality. We've got to try and win the game. It's made a little bit of a difference to the stats, but it's an Ipswich corner. We sense the inevitable here. Good save, Rory Watson, to stop that though. And as we come towards the end, let's make our final sub. I don't even know who's a candidate to take off, to be honest. Bayliss is knackered despite being our best player, so Teddy Bishop a good backup on for him. And with 5 to go, let's just get back into it, see if we can hold on for a crucial point. It's not the best result or performance, to be honest, but if we can get a point, it's still decent for us, keeping us largely unbeaten this season. Still only 1 league defeat, and let's see if we can hold on for 3 more minutes and make sure that's the case at the end of the match. Well, we have done it. We have held on for one of the most undeserved 0-0s you'll ever see. We haven't barely had a kick in this game. Ipswich have been by far the better side, but we'll sympathise with the lads. We've got players out, missing a key centre half and key attacking players such as Coldclough. We've still managed to get a point, hold on for a 0-0. Really resolute defensively too. Let's see what Lincoln did. They drew their game, stay up in 6th place, and we'll be back in a moment again to face them. The second of of today's doubleheader. We're back for game 2 to face Lincoln, and we start with some good and bad fitness news. We come back after obviously being lucky to draw in the last game. We'll be hoping we can do a little bit better than that today. Although Olamola and Ryan Colclough, neither of those have recovered. Tyree Wilson is definitely fit, and Teddy Bishop's just picks up a 1 to 2 day knock, so I think he's got one of the orange injuries. A bruised knee, we're just going to leave him out. We've got plenty of cover in central midfield, and we don't want to risk our first 3 or 4 choice midfielders getting long injuries, so I'm happy for them to miss out on one game. Again, Lincoln come into this without a winning 5. Again, they've drawn most of those games though, so a bit like the Ipswich one, a draw looks like the most likely result. We've drawn 5 of our 8 league games too, and we're just 2 points off the playoffs as we're rarely losing, but we're not looking like a great side in front of goal. We've just about favoured us again. Lincoln got the better head-to-head record. You can write so many excuses for either team's winning, but realistically a draw's the most likely outcome, and we're going to have to do something special to stop that. So in the squad today we can make some changes. Cameron Burgess is back after international duty, but Doe will be replaced by him and he'll go on the bench in place of Terrell Thomas in turn. A really good one to have back, Cameron Burgess, a proper player at this level. We nearly showed his profile there. A decent player, good natural fitness, one of our best defenders, and in star rating he is the best at the club. Him and McGahey the best combination. We like to have them together as much as possible. Then on the bench in terms of midfielders, we've got loads of options. Sjoberg's a bit tired, so Andy Cook the youngster will come on for Bishop. Just gives us another one of those youngsters on the bench. Safari Moore back to fitness, but there's not really a place for him, and we still haven't got any of our first choice attackers. So Longman had a poor game off the left last time out, so I'm going to put him as a striker today where he's played most of the season. Omatoyi out to the left, same personnel, different positions, and let's see if it works out as we get into the match. Well, 4-4-1-1, a bit of a standard formation for Lincoln, 2 banks of 4 and then 1 man supporting Ennis. It's Stubbs, he's a player we tried to sign, wasn't he? Who was he linked with? Was it maybe Halifax or was it even here? I'm not quite sure. In fact, it might have been Dorking in the other save. They're all getting jumbled up, but he's a decent young centre-half, a really good player for them. They've got Toffolo at left-back, who's just joined in real life from Norwich again. Tormey on the left wing, he's a player we recognise. We had him in our other series at Dorking Wanderers. A really good young winger, and he's doing the same in this one, playing off the left rather than the right here. They've still got the likes of Ellis Chapman and Harry Anderson, some really good players at the club, and Vickers the keeper. So this is going to be a tough test against the side chasing the playoffs. We'll just encourage the lads as we get into the first half. So this one's a bit of a derby. We're getting all the questions about it being a heated atmosphere. Can the players keep their cool? Who are we going to pay close attention to? We're just going to treat them all as good players, and hopefully we'll be able to get a strong result and at least compete a bit better than we did last week. Well, 15 gone, and despite us having a decent start, Lincoln are on the attack with Tormey. Wilson heads away though, Omatoyi on the break. We've got 3 on 3 here momentarily. Omatoyi into a bit of a blind alley, but he beats his man with ease. There's 2 up with him, he just needs the final pass to be right. Beats 1, beats it, is he going to go alone? He's fouled in the box, what a brilliant run. Omatoyi fouled, he's the best penalty taker too, so he's got a chance to put it away himself. That is an unbelievable counter-attack from Omatoyi. Brilliant work off the left wing, and if only we played them that way round last time, we could have been in for a much better game. Into the bottom corner, no mistake from the spot. Wonderful start on the counter-attack, and what came from a Lincoln free kick was an unbelievable run and counter, and Omatoyi did everything from start to finish himself. Well, we've reached half-time, no further highlights, and in fact we went 20 minutes without a shot going on either side's match stats, so it must have been a bit of a middle-of-the-park battle. Only 1 yellow card, which we talk about a derby and flying tackles. We've been trying to stay on our feet, and it's worked pretty well. Luke Matheson there, 100% tackles won, same for McGahey at the back. A really solid defensive splay, and that really does please us this year. Matheson seems to have solved that problem, giving us the complete good back 5 we wanted. Going forward, we've nicked one with a moment of magic. We haven't looked too great other than that, but we are still just about the better side, and I'd say we're in comfortable control of the game. An hour gone, it remains 1-0 to Scunthorpe, and what a result this could be on Derby Day. We've got a throw on the left hand side with Brown in an advanced position. He finds Longman the centre forward, back to Brown again. Got 2 inside him if he can find them. One of them's Bayliss the new man. He gets it on the left, cuts it in across the box, headed away by Stubbs who's on a booking, and Tom Neal loses out on the challenge. That means that Lincoln have got a chance on the break, the same as we had. In goes Keenan Davis 1-on-1. Good save Watson, and he holds it too. Brilliant counter attack from Lincoln, just as ours was in the first half to be honest, but they weren't able to take advantage like we did, although they are getting on top of the game now. So we're going to go up to a balanced mentality. We're going to demand more from the lads too, and with 15 to go we will make some changes just to see if we can hold on more comfortably. So this time, to be honest, everyone's been pretty decent. I don't know who to take off. I'm just going to leave it. Why make subs for the sake of it? We'll wait till the last 5. We'll make them to gradually time waste. We're coming back into it since we changed mentality, and we've got a chance from a corner. Neal into the front post. Stubbs heads away. Only finds McGahey McGarhy goes wide again though. He tries to cross and it's blocked away, but Lindsay looks like he's going to mop up there. We're a little bit worried about the counter-attacks, but Tom Neal does well to keep possession. He finds Bayliss, the midfield three, doing well, and they're keeping the ball really well here. Back to McGarhy, the centre-half. He was making his way back from the corner, but he finds Lindsay, and now McGarhy again into Bayliss. Giving it away though, Chapman can counter. He finds Payne, the number 10. He's got Niall Ellis running ahead of him. Tries to switch it, McGarhy heads away, but it only falls as far as Ellis Chapman. He finds Dewsbury Hall, the danger man. Out to the right-hand side to Kerr, the overlapping fullback. Into Ennis, his shot's blocked by McGarhy. Matheson hacks away, and now here goes Omatoyi again. We've seen it once already. He's doing the whole lot of them. Into Tyree Wilson. Shoots and is saved. It's straight at the keeper. Not the best effort, but Omatoyi at his best again. And on the counter, we're looking a really big threat. Right, 1 minute to go. Time to start making the subs. Tyree Wilson's knackered. He's been the worst of the 11 starters. Chapman, the youngster's going to come on for him. We'll press play. What we're also going to do, we're now going to go and slow the pace down. Time waste all the time. Very slightly reduce that tempo too. And then when that's done, we're also going to make another substitution. We're time wasting our way to the 90 minutes. Bayliss is knackered, and with just a minute to go, we'll bring Cook on. Another youngster getting first team football. And now he's come on. We're going to make the final change. Longman replaced up front by Eddie Flanagan. 3 changes made as we try and time waste, and that should just about see out the game. Although I say that, now Lincoln have got an attacking throw. Cook challenges Payne into the front post. Lindsay volleys it away. Get up the pitch. Flanagan counter-attacks. He's got it on halfway. He's done 2. He's got himself in, the 18-year-old. Goes for the shot, but it's really tame. Brilliant work. Solo majestic strike it describes. That would explain it perfectly, but unfortunately the finish just wasn't there. Vickers with a long kick downfield. It's a grandstand finish if nothing else. A derby finish in the way you'd expect. The side losing chasing it, and Chapman picks it up on the right wing here. He just holds it up on halfway. Loses out in the challenge. Now Ennis can counter. Why hasn't the whistle gone? We're nearly a minute over. I know we made a sub or two, but they didn't take long. Back to Payne, who shoots. It's blocked to Kerr. What a challenge, Jaden Brown. Last gasp, it looks certain he was second favourite for it, but he made a brilliant challenge to get there, and now Kerr's held up by Andy Cook. He gets it back to Brown. Just hack it long, son. We need to get it down pitch. He's lost out to Kerr. Not there of all places. Ennis down for Davis, who scores. The offside flag's up though. We've got a reprieve. Why did Jaden Brown make that decision? But the offside flag saves us again, and with 3.5 minutes of the 2 minutes played, we finally nicked the 1-0 victory. An even game. We probably didn't deserve to win it, but we did manage to get focus of the lads and a 1-0 victory, and 3 points may even take us up to the playoffs. What a wonderful result to finish the episode. So we are up to 5th place with a victory, a really good result. Again, defensively so resolute. Jaden Brown made one howler towards the end, but generally we kept our concentration so well, and some of the last gasp tackles we made were brilliant. These lads are fighting for every single point they get. They've won the derby, and that should be the thing that pleases the fans, but we've managed to get the win, keep our home unbeaten record going, and just like last season, we are struggling for goals at home. We've managed to nick a couple of 1-0 victories, and that's going to prove really crucial for us moving forward. Jamie Lindsay, the man of the match again, a brilliant signing by a director of football this summer. 9 appearances, 3 goals and an assist, 7.26 is his average rating, and he's replaced those 2 lone youngsters who are a bit better than him on paper last year, but he looks like an absolutely super player, and he's consistent and experienced and does everything well. So we'll deal with a press conference off camera. We're not too worried about that for now, but confirmation we do finish this episode in the playoffs. Early in the season, we're not going to get too excited. The top 3 look like they're running away with things, but we're up in that pack just chasing them. So if we go and have a look at the schedule for when we'll next be back, try and find a couple of big games coming up, and I think those might be the 2 at the end of October actually. Sheffield Wednesday away, a really reputable side. Where are they in the league? They're top at the moment. And then Peterborough at home, who are in 3rd place at present. They're a good side too. Probably the only one of the top 3 we might be able to catch, but 2 really big games at the end of that month, so we'll come back after a few more for those 2. Hopefully at that point we'll still be chasing the playoffs after a really solid start to the season, and you can see bar the cup games and a couple where we've been weaker, we've really not conceded many goals this year. Only 1 league game we've conceded more than 1 goal, and that's now 2 clean sheets in a row for us there. So really good play though. We are struggling at the other end. Hopefully that'll rectify itself once our attackers get back to fitness. Colclough in particular a big miss at the moment, and others keep getting little tiny knocks as well. But if you did enjoy this episode and those 2 really solid defensive performances in that double header, please do put a thumbs up on the video. We of course look a far better side than last year. We're conceding less and still looking a threat on the break, and Omatoyi there with a moment of magic on the break. Another good signing from our director of football. So Alan Judge is going to get a lot of the praise, but overall we're doing a decent job too. Let me know down in the comments what I can do going forward. Is there anything I can do to get us more involved without costing our defensive displays? I thought about getting the fullbacks into more attacking duties, but are we then going to concede accuracy, goals from crosses. I really got to weigh those things up before I make the changes. Though both of our fullbacks do suit the attacking duty, so it might be something I give a try in one of the cup games soon. Subscribe to the channel for daily FM20 content from my 2 long-term stories. This one will be back in 2 days' time with another big double header against Sheffield Wednesday and Peterborough. And in the meantime, we finish our League One season at Dorking tomorrow before an end-of-season review and transfer special later this week in that one. So a really big week of action coming up in both series, and I hope you'll stick along and join me for them. I'm also part of a podcast that does matchday vlogs and interviews, and you can see the link to the matchday vlogs in the eye above. A massive thank you to everyone who supported those recently. Some of the numbers on most of them have been unbelievable, so a massive thank you for your support with them. They seem to have gone down really well, and if you haven't given them a try yet, please do. We'll be really interested to hear your feedback. But a massive thanks for watching this one and your continued support of the series and channel as always. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see you next time for another big double header as we try to continue our push for the League One playoff spots.